Ahoy hoy fellow bookworms, my name is Caroline and I like to read books, so let's talk about them. Today's video will be a review of This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. Going into this book, I'd heard a lot of really mixed things. Some people loved it, some people hated it, so I ended up kind of uncertain about whether I should read it or not, and I'm gonna keep this review spoiler free so that anyone else who is uncertain or a bit confused by the mixed reviews can hear my thoughts. Quick synopsis, basically this takes place in a city called Verity, which is split in two. In this city, violent acts create monsters which then do monstrous things and just make the city a very unpleasant place to live. Our two main characters are Kate and August. Kate wants to be ruthless like her father, who is the leader of half the city, and August is a rare and powerful monster who can play a song on his violin and steal a person's soul. And I'm not going to say more about the plot because I do think it's more fun if people just go into this not really knowing what to expect. The first 20% or so was pretty slow and boring. It served as an okay introduction, but I ended up a bit confused about the different monsters and the history behind the city of Verity. As the story progressed though, the pacing did improve. My main problem with this book was the characters. I didn't actively dislike them, but I was essentially indifferent. They were okay and they grew throughout the story, but I just wasn't a huge fan. Kate developed a lot, which was nice. She's desperate to be ruthless and accepted by her father, but also kind of struggles with the reality of the world that they live in. I think there's still room for her to grow in book 2, and I'm actually quite interested to see what happens with her character. I went into this book thinking I would love August because the idea of a world where the humans are potentially more monstrous than the monsters really grabs my attention, but I was left just kind of underwhelmed by him. His character was interesting but just didn't really excite me or feel unique. Yes, he's a monster who wishes he wasn't, but he kind of reminded me of the typical young adult tortured soul. A lot of his chapters felt kind of woe is me, and although I initially really enjoyed it, it became kind of repetitive and annoying as the story went on. The writing wasn't amazing, but I still really liked it. This book did that kind of annoying thing where every chapter ends on a slight cliffhanger, so even though the writing didn't grab me, I was still super addicted to the story. The action scenes were well written and fast-paced without being overly descriptive. Also, I really liked that there's no romance between the main characters. Instead of having a romantic relationship, they kind of just have this tentative alliance, and I really liked the dynamic between them. There's still room for their relationship to grow in book 2, but in this one, I was really happy that it wasn't romantic at all. Because there are so many positive reviews of this book going around, I did mention a few negatives in mine just to kind of balance it out, but I would still give this book 3.5 out of 5 stars because, yeah, there were some things I wasn't completely happy with, but it's still entertaining and exciting and addictive, and the ending made me so super keen to read the sequel. If you've also read this book, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments. I upload videos Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, so be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned on those days for more bookish goodness. Toodaloo!